Hello, and welcome to a speedrun of the original Resident Evil from 1996. This is the world record run of 3804 set by the player Hamo in May of 2021 in the Jill any% no major glitches category, the most optimized category in Resident Evil with over 280 runs on the leaderboard. On the left hand side of your screen, you'll see useful information throughout the run such as current location, health, the inventory, and 2 timers, one for real time and one for in-game time, which is the one that actually matters. Happy Halloween. Let's begin the run.
Biohazard.
What is this?
Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert!
A dining room.
The beginning has a handful of cutscenes before the run really takes off. Enjoy the questionable voice acting.
What? What is this?
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
The first item of the run we'll be picking up is the emblem. This is followed by the classic zombie encounter cutscene that'll be skipped immediately. You need to watch this in order to trigger the next cutscene in the dining room.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this. What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
Alright, one more big cutscene and we're off.
Wesker! Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being.
The quickest way to look for Wesker is to head behind the staircase to quickly transition the screen back and forth.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And... Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time, I'll be there.
And so the run begins properly, and now it's time to try and find Wesker. With the help of the lockpick Barry gave us, we can use it on this brown door to access new areas of the mansion where Alright, that's the bingo square filled for this year. Anyway, the main objective is to get to the upper floor of the mansion to talk to Barry to progress the story, but not before filling the inventory with items in the safe room. First, Hamo opens the box that's used to store items, which has 2 free clips for the pistol by default that he'll take with him. Then he'll pick up the herbicide key item for later, and a green herb outside the safe room too. The reason he clogs up his inventory like this is because Barry will skip handing you a set of acid rounds in the upcoming cutscene if he notices you have no more inventory space, thus resulting in a shorter cutscene by 30 seconds. Here, Hamo intentionally gets bit by this zombie to damage boost through him. But right after, he has to get past King Henry, which is generally considered the hardest zombie dodge in the run.
Barry!
Jill, what's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa, this hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Now that the cutscene is over, Hamo needs to clear his inventory to make room for the bazooka, which is the only weapon we'll be using throughout this run. It's located in this outside area, and Hamo is going to equip it immediately, but also combine the two clips into one in the same menu to once again clear up some inventory space. Now with the bazooka in hand, we're gonna head back to the dining room, but from the upper floor this time, where Hamo is going to perform some tech that allows him to save a tiny bit of time. Upon shooting the weapon, he'll go in and out of the inventory to cancel the last bit of the firing animation, which enables Jill to move sooner. This kills a zombie that would otherwise be in our way as we attempt to push this statue down to the first floor to get an item later. Zombie dodging is a huge part of Resident Evil speedrunning, and while they're not equally difficult, getting grabbed a single time unintentionally is a reset for any top-level player. This game is so optimized that being within 30 seconds of the world record lands you in 24th place. Because the movement is so limited and there's very minimal RNG in the run, it's allowed the community to push this game down just seconds at a time. Hamo only makes a single mistake in this run that loses more than 1 second, so to get a time like this, you gotta be razor sharp. Speaking of, if you caught the leaderboard at the start of this video, you may have noticed that this is a tied world record, as Lance LM also has a 38:04, which was achieved 10 months ago. I chose to use Hamo's run for this video as it's the only run of the two with raw game sound, no alerts, chat, or anything else covering the gameplay. But in any case, huge congrats to Lance on tying this legendary 3.5-year record. The room we were just in was the greenhouse, where we obtained the armor key by applying the herbicide to the water pump to kill the monster plant. This key will open up a few areas for us later on. Now in the bar, Hamo's going to push this shelf to acquire the music notes, which he'll use on the piano to open up a secret door. In the meantime, I'll tell you a bit about the version that is being played. Hamo is playing on the Japanese PC version with the classic rebirth patch enabled. The reason for playing in Japanese is that less characters will appear on screen than in English when inspecting things, unlocking doors, or picking up items. The PC version allows you to skip door transitions, which speeds up the run tremendously. The majority of runners, Hamo included, play with the classic rebirth patch enabled due to compatibility and stability issues with the original game, and it also allows you to turn off FMVs, meaning you don't have to manually skip them. This doesn't give you any advantage, as the in-game timer stops during FMVs regardless. Hamo has FMVs disabled for the whole game, and it explains why you didn't see a single frame of the zombie encounter FMV at the start of the game, and why you won't see any more going forward. Now with the secret door unlocked, we'll swap out the emblem for the gold emblem, which we'll bring back to the dining room. Popping it into the slot where it fits, we'll move a clock, granting us access to the shield key. Since there's 2 items we need to pick up in this room, and they're on opposite sides of the table, we'll skip picking up the key now in favor of the blue jewel, which came from that statue that was pushed down earlier. We'll be coming back to the dining room in about a minute from now, so we'll get the key on the backtrack because it's a bit faster. All the various items we've been collecting will aid us in solving puzzles that'll gain us access to 4 crests that are needed to unlock the courtyard section of the mansion. Now on the second floor, a cutscene will play that gets us closer to our first crest.
Richard, what happened?
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake and also poisonous.
Poisonous? Richard, hold on.
There is serum. Oh no, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
Upon exiting the room, the map will open up automatically to show the player where the serum is located, which Hamo is going to close as soon as he can. He's going to get the serum as it's required to get through the door behind Richard, which houses one of the crests, but not before picking up a couple things on the way. First, we'll get the shield key in the dining room. Then we'll be using the blue jewel to acquire the first of 4 crests. After getting this crest, Jill's inventory is full, and luckily the serum is located in a nearby safe room. So Hamo is going to quickly dump the combat knife, Beretta, clip, and green herb into the box before continuing. If you haven't played Resident Evil before, you might think that 8 inventory slots is a bit tight, and while that is correct, it's actually worse if you pick Chris at the start of the game. Chris can only hold 6 items as opposed to Jill's 8, but he does have more health to make up for it. His story scenario is a different category on the leaderboards, with the world record being a 35:02 by Lance LM, with Hamo in second place. It's not as optimized as the Jill record, but it's nice to have a couple of different ways to run the game. Now with the serum in hand, we'll be bobbing and weaving past these zombies to get back to Richard as soon as possible. He mentioned that he got bit by a big venomous snake, and he's referring to Yawn. Yawn is one of few bosses in this game, and we'll be seeing it twice. And that's because we're not going to go fight it on our first encounter. The boss room has a crest in the back, so we'll get in, grab it, and get out.
Here's the serum. Richard, hold on. I'll give you a shot now.
Jill, here's my radio. You should keep it. I'm...
No! Richard!
Jill, be careful.
Hamo is going to immediately run to the left to juke Yawn's bite, then bolting it to the back of the room to get the crest. After turning around, he takes a wider line to not get bit on the way back. And just like that, there's your encounter with Yawn. Like I said before, we'll have to face him later in the run, but for now, this makes 2 of the 4 crests. To get the third, Hamo will use the armor key to enter the armor room, where he has to solve a puzzle by pushing these statues onto some vents and hitting a button in the middle. To shave off as much time as possible in this room, Hamo exploits the fact that you don't have to cover the vents entirely for the puzzle to complete, meaning you're pushing the statues ever so slightly less. We're gonna nab the crest and head towards the final one, and it's gonna take a while to get there and do the puzzle. So I'm just gonna say a few words here. Thank you for tuning into my video. If you're new to my channel, I create various videos about the history of speedrunning, World Record Explained stuff, and videos about various glitch hunters or runners, usually focusing on the PlayStation 1 and 2 era of gaming. As of uploading this video, I'm just shy of reaching 200,000 subscribers, so I'd appreciate it if you could help me out there. Very early on into this channel, I decided to create a yearly Halloween special that focused on explaining the speedrun of a horror game with a more cozy feel. Between 2020 and 2022, I covered Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 and wanted to cover Silent Hill 4 in 2023. But for one, I hadn't played the game before, and secondly, I wanted to focus on my Conquering Jack 3 series, which ended up taking 2.5 years to make. So throughout 2023 and 2024, I heard you guys. You wanted the Halloween special back. It's not Silent Hill 4, and I am pleased to tell you guys that I am playing through the game at the moment. I think Resident Evil was inevitable for this channel. I love this game, and its sequels, and the speedruns are intense. But yeah, the Halloween specials are officially back. Let me know in the comments if you want to see Resident Evil 2 or Silent Hill 4 next year. Now with all 4 crests in our inventory, Hamo is going to head for the courtyard and take out the zombie that's in his way too, using the same pause trick from before. Now we'll just place all 4 crests into this plaque, which unlocks the door to one of the hardest rooms in the game to do fast. Hamo is going to attempt Quick Crank, which is obtaining the item that's up on a shelf in a certain way. You need to clip past the stepladder to be able to push it early, then stand on the leftmost part of it when going up to grab the crank early. If you're just a little bit off, you're gonna lose major time, or it's a reset flat out. You can see Hamo didn't get the crank as quickly as he could have, and neither did Lance in his run, so it goes to show how precise this room is. This room has a bit of RNG involved, and that's in the dogs. If you get a bad pattern, you can just get blocked or bit, which is just a reset at a world record level. Hamo got through just fine though. Now we'll use the crank to lower the water level, allowing us access through the pool. But going back to the RNG thing real quick, you'd be surprised to find out that this game doesn't have much RNG besides those dogs. It's a funny contrast if you look at the Resident Evil 3 run, which is the polar opposite. with RNG in literally everything from weapon spawns to enemies and puzzles too. Maybe I'll cover that someday. Now for the guardhouse, our next major area of the game. First we'll drain this bathtub to obtain the control room key. Then upon exiting, we'll grab the blank book from the bed, but not before killing a zombie. This guy is just perfectly in the way of our line to the book, and when speedrunning as Chris, you have no choice but to take intentional damage here. Speaking of intentional damage, we're gonna do just that. A tentacle in the floor will grab Jill, wasting a few seconds, but your other choice is painfully pushing a statue across the room to cover the hole. Needless to say, getting grabbed is way faster. Now in this area, we'll snag the key to room 002 and head straight there. Here, Hamo is going to push the bookshelves as little as possible to create just a big enough of a gap to reach the interaction zone for the ladder, allowing him to enter the basement of the guardhouse. This room has the infamous box puzzle. You need to push 3 boxes into a small pool of water to cross it, and it takes around a minute to do. So let me just talk about something I noticed when making this video. Hamo is an incredibly accomplished Resident Evil speedrunner. Looking at his speedrun.com profile, he has the world record in this category, Jill any percent no major glitches, he has the Chris best ending record, he has the Claire A record in Resident Evil 2, and is second place in Resident Evil 3. He hasn't posted a speedrun to his YouTube channel in over a year and a half, so I asked him if he was retired or ever planned to make a return, to which I got this reply. I'll definitely return. As the run gets more optimized, it's very hard to continue grinding for long periods of time. Gotta have big breaks in between to keep my sanity. I do want to eventually push for sub 38. Would be an absolutely huge milestone, but incredibly tough. Kinda similar situation with the other RE games. There are improvements I want to make, it's just finding the motivation due to how tough the runs are to PB on now. I don't think I'll be completely done for a while. If you guys want to follow Hamo's return, his Twitch is Hamo_2, and his YouTube is Hamo Speedruns. Now in the water tank room, the main goal is to drain the water, which we'll do by entering the control room with that key we got earlier. You'll notice Jill teleport forward here a bit, and that's because an FMV is supposed to play where the shark is sneaking up on you, but since the FMVs are turned off, it just looks like Jill jumps forward a bit. Upon draining the water, we also need to push this button to open the storage room next door. Here, we'll grab the key to room 003. In room 003, we're going to inspect the book in the bookshelf, pull it out, and replace the slot with the blank book we have in our inventory to reveal a secret door leading to the Plant 42 boss fight. The boss goes down in 3 hits from the bazooka, so it's not too complicated.
What the hell is this? Jill!
was close. Thanks, Barry.
Don't mention it. What a monster. I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
We'll quickly grab the helmet key before leaving.
Wesker.
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say. Where on earth have you been? You disappeared from the hall all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons. Perhaps you guys have met them? It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
Is that right? Anyway, it's good to see you're safe.
Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
Yes, you're right.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Will you do that? I'm counting on you.
That little beeping noise is Jill's radio, and answering the call simply loses time, so we're gonna keep on moving. Another note about the Plant 42 fight is that there is a way to not have Barry come and save you. If you enter a specific room and mix together a V-Jolt chemical, you can pour it into the roots of the plant in the basement. This skips the Barry cutscene and kills the plant after just the first phase, but mixing the chemical is far slower, so it's why the fight is done this way. Right now, we're headed back to the mansion in what runners call Mansion 2, and the zombies are now replaced by hunters. These are some nasty enemies casually, and dodging them in the speedrun can also be difficult in cramped spaces. First, we'll use our helmet key on this door, turn on the light, and grab the Doom Book 1. Then we'll be making our way towards the second encounter with Yawn. But if you look at the inventory in the sidebar, you can see that we have no ammo. So we'll have to make a quick stop in the safe room where Barry has left us some acid rounds. One quick tip that I didn't know before Hamo told me is that hunters are left-handed and will always swing at you with their left. So knowing that information, you can avoid damage a bit easier if you move correctly. Yawn appears through the fireplace like Santa on Christmas Eve, and now we get to slay him. Hamo will spam 4 acid rounds into the snake, then pause cancel the last shot and inspect the hole in the ground as quickly as possible to initiate the next cutscene with Barry.
Jill, have you found anything interesting?
Yes, but I can't see very well.
How about going down to check by yourself? I have a rope here.
Oh, do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Wait.
Hey, what's going on?
Now I've done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait. I'll go and get another rope.
Barry? Barry?
Now stuck in the mansion basement, the goal is to acquire a battery and bring it to the courtyard to unlock a new area. A suspicious-looking zombie is blocking Hamo's path, so he takes him out with an acid round. After this lift ride, we'll use the last remaining round to kill one more zombie, where he'll be out of ammo once again. Fortunately, this room, that has the battery we're after, also happens to have some explosive rounds too. Right here, there's an FMV of a zombie coming down the stairs, scaring Jill as she takes a few steps back. But comically, it's just a regular zombie and it takes literally 1 second to get around him. For now, it's just a stroll through the courtyard, a couple of tricky hunter dodges, but that's about it for now. To reveal the next area of the game, the underground, we need to fill the pool full of water and make it to the lower area while it's still full. This hasn't been possible so far, but after putting in the battery into a second lift, where Hamo nails this task menu by the way, it's now possible to loop back around, fill the pool, and take this lift back down. Coming up on the next screen is the biggest mistake Hamo makes in this run. There have been some half-second time losses here and there, and I haven't really pointed them out, but this one is just super unfortunate. I want to see if you can spot it. Did you catch it? It happened quickly and the recovery was pretty good, but let me explain. After using the crank, the game automatically boots you back into the inventory, and Hamo uses this menu to combine the rounds and bazooka as it's a bit faster. However, he accidentally hit inspect on the bazooka. Had he sat through the animation of the bazooka being inspected, he would have lost multiple seconds, killing the run. But he quickly realized and closed and reopened the inventory and did the menu as fast as he could, negating the time loss to only 1.3 seconds. Now for the underground. We'll begin with a cutscene.
Is that Jill?
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Wait there! Are you with anybody, Jill?
What? Oh no, I'm alone. But why are you asking?
Listen, the stars are going to be finished soon. Someone is a traitor. Everything was plotted from the start by Umbrella. Ah!
Enrico! Who killed him, I wonder?
Making our way out of this room, we'll pick up the hex crank, different from the square crank, followed by some tricky hunter dodges, with the second one having some crazy reach on his lunge. I should probably also mention that this run, on top of being a Jill any % no major glitches run, is also a bad ending run. The bad ending is the fastest ending you can get in this game and is typically the more popular run, but with the best ending you get about 6 more minutes of gameplay and you actually get a final boss battle unlike in this run. You'll see it when we get to the end, but the game will kinda just slowly fade to black a bit anticlimactically. Here, the boulder will only begin rolling once you get close enough to it and turn around. Oh shit, a boss fight! Never mind. Yeah, you don't actually have to fight Black Tiger if you didn't know. If you just clear the door with the web on it, you can just go through on the other side. We now have to painstakingly turn this wall 3 times with the hex crank to open up the next puzzle room. At this point, Hamo is 1.3 seconds ahead of his splits. And I kinda wanted to include how far ahead or behind he was at certain points in the run, but I'll be honest, this sidebar already took me ages to make. and I really hope you like it. The most time-consuming part was having to manually start and stop the timer on each load screen so the in-game timer would line up properly. I'm a big fan of when tool-assisted speedruns put information about the run on the side as well. Makes you appreciate the work just a bit more IMO. In this room, we have to push the statue onto a lighter spot in the floor, but Jill can't get around it, so Hamo uses the hex crank to push out this wall that'll give her the space to move it over to where it needs to be. Once again, after using the crank, you get booted back into the inventory, where Hamo takes the time to inspect the Doom Book 1, to reveal the Eagle Medal inside. The item we get for doing this puzzle is, surprise, the Doom Book 2, where Hamo will be getting the Wolf Medal upon inspection later. But first, let's get out of this damn cave. Back in the courtyard, we'll use our medals to drain the fountain. Welcome to the secret lab, where all the crazy umbrella experiments take place. First things first, we're gonna get onto this computer. In order to know what the login and password is, you normally need to go around and find a bunch of clues, but fortunately it's the same on every playthrough, with the login John and password Ada. We're gonna open the visual data room on floor B2, and once again it's gonna require a password. Again, it's predetermined. The answer is mole. Now in the visual data room, we're going to slide down this grate and hit a button to reveal the power room key hidden behind a pillar. We're now entering the last stretch of the game. We'll need to head to the power room to turn on the electricity, which makes the lift leading up to the final area operational. Dodging these chimeras can be difficult, but as long as your lines are on point, you shouldn't get hit.
Jill! I was looking for you.
Barry.
Jill, don't be angry. I wanted you to wait for me.
Barry, don't screw up again like you did when you dropped that rope. Wesker?
You did a fine job, Barry.
Just as I thought.
I think you should stay away from Barry, Jill. I hear that his wife and 2 daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
You are so cruel.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything, because you'll be free from this world very soon, Jill.
Why do you have to destroy stars?
That's Umbrella's intention. This laboratory has been engaging in dangerous experiments, and recently an accident has occurred. Anyway, this disaster cannot be made public.
That's why having stars nosing about is so inconvenient. So you're a slave of Umbrella now, along with these virus monsters.
I think you misunderstand me, Jill. To me, the monsters you mention mean nothing. I'm going to burn all of them together with this entire laboratory. I must complete my mission as ordered by Umbrella. Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
Barry!
Barry's such a fool. He'll be under the control of Umbrella forever.
How come both Umbrella and you can intimidate him by taking his family as hostages?
Umbrella? Well, I intimidated him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used him for my personal purposes, though both you and Barry seem to think I was following orders from Umbrella.
So you're planning something else?
If you succeeded in developing the world's most powerful biological weapon, what would you do? What if you were in charge?
You must stop this now.
You're a brave girl. But if I were you, I wouldn't give up such a big discovery. You guys are idiots. No one understands its real value.
So you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet, I'm going to show you the tyrant. Tyrant virus is a super virus, which creates a monster which is much stronger than human beings. Tyrant is the most powerful biological weapon in the world.
You don't mean you're experimenting on real people?
This is really beautiful. All this power will be mine.
For the sake of an awful creature?
Don't be upset. All weak people exist to be eaten. Don't come this way! No!
It can't control what it does.
Hamo runs behind the tyrant and equips the bazooka, then fires 3 shots and pause cancels at the end to quickly pick up the master key from Wesker's body. He then opens the door by tapping on the console and heads upstairs. If this were a best ending run, a self-destruct sequence would engage after leaving the Tyrant room, where you'd also have to go save Chris. Then you two, along with Barry, escape up to the helipad and fight the Tyrant one last time. Barry would also normally be with you when you discover the Tyrant in the lab, but instead, he's here.
Hi, Jill. It's you.
Barry?
I'm really embarrassed to see you now. Just leave me. Go quickly.
It's over, Barry. Wesker's dead.
Is that so? Jill, will you do me a favor? This is my last wish. Please give this photo to my family. Will you?
Sure.
Forgive me, Jill.
Now for the final stretch. We'll pick up this battery, which we'll use literally 1 second later, and then head up to the helipad where we shoot the flare to end the game. I want to give a massive shout out to Hamo for making this video possible in the first place. He answered every question I had with professionalism, and he also happened to have a recording of his run with nothing overlapping the game feed or audio, which is something I require when making these Speedrun Explained videos. If you enjoyed this, thank you so much for watching. I literally read every comment I get, so your support means so much to me. If you want more videos, I have a solid back catalog I recommend checking out. I also stream on Twitch multiple days a week if you want to see some speedrunning over there. And finally, I have my Patreon, where you can have your name shown on screen in every video for $2 a month, and updates on the next videos for $5 a month. This has been the Resident Evil Speedrun World Record Explained. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next year for Silent Hill 4 or Resident Evil 2.